Hey folks, hope you're all doing well. Thought I'd bring you a bit of a quick video. Hope it's going to be quick anyway. But knowing me, it'll run into 20 minutes. Cheers. I am pairing this rather fine tobacco with a rather fine ale. Because it's now about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm kind of wrapping things up work-wise for the day. I was going to do this video outdoors, but I can't be asked, frankly. I've got too much stuff going on in here right now, but I wanted to just bring you some thoughts really on this rather interesting tobacco. Now, about a week or so ago, I got a 500-gram bag of Germain's Rich Dark Flake through the post that I'd ordered because it's damn good stuff, and I wouldn't ordinarily order tobacco in bulk like that, but being a Germain's thing, and with the amount of idiots out there holding huge, ridiculous, pornographic levels of tobaccos that they're never going to get around to smoking, I thought I'd get in there while I could and just stock up for the next year or so. Although I was actually after Germain's medium, but that's by the by. I happened to make a post on the Gentleman's Pipe Club or something like that. Some Facebook group I'm in anyway. But a friend of mine commented that he'd run out, so hadn't been able to get any for quite a long time. So I said, well, don't worry about it, I'll send you a bunch. And we ended up doing this little trade anyway, and he remarkably generous. I won't say his name because he's more of a lurker than a commenter, so out of respect for his privacy and all that. But hopefully he'll see this. So in exchange for some Rich Dark Flake and a couple of other bits, he replenished my my waning stock of one of my favourite autumnal smokes, which was the Fusiliers ration, which is absolutely awesome. I'm so pleased about that. So pleased. He sent me a really rather interesting pipe. This is a Karsten. I think it's Karsten. Karsten. Really very interesting pipe. I did have a go on it the other day, but I couldn't quite figure out the mechanics of it to get it to draw. But I'm not sure if you can see, there's a little Phillips head screw in there. And I wonder whether or not I have to tweak that a little bit to get a better draw coming through. But yeah, really interesting pipe, and it came actually with a straight stem, so you can take the bowl off and mount it on the top and have it as a straight pipe rather than something like that. So really fascinating. But amongst other stuff, he also sent me some of this stuff which I have been wanting to try for a long time, because a bunch of people on one of the Zoom groups that I sit in sometimes during the week have been talking about it, but none of the tight bastards had sent me a sample yet. I jest, of course. And that is the HH Rustica. Now, for those that don't know, Rustica is ordinarily the tobacco we smoke is Nicotiana tobacco. Now, Nicotiana Rustica is obviously a different species from the tobacco family. And after doing a little bit of research, it occurred to me that that is probably the stuff that I was smoking in Papua New Guinea that they call the Bruce. So it's a shorter, squatter plant. Tends to be sort of more full at the bottom and then have slightly longer flower stem and also a yellow flower. Now there are a number of different varieties, there are a number of different sort of subspecies, if you like, but it's quite notorious in so much as it's got a very high nicotine content, allegedly. Now it's native to South America, to Brazil, the Amazon, Peru. And as far as I'm aware, from having done a little bit of reading into it, a couple of scientific documents or whatever, it can be traced back to, I think, 1651, if I remember correctly, when the seeds were brought over and planted in Portugal, of all places. But it gets quite interesting because mummies from Egypt, which date back over 2,000 years, and longer, in fact, were found to contain nicotine in them. And although there are some forms of the Solanaceae family, which is the tomato family, the family to which tobacco belongs, it wasn't entirely known what it was that was causing the nicotine to be found in these Egyptian mummies. So I wonder whether or not it really, the trade routes, there's an awful lot we don't know about. I'm fairly certain, obviously, that there was probably trade that goes back significantly longer than we're currently aware by conventional historical thinking. In any case, Rustica is one of the sort of the earlier types of tobacco, of the tobacco plant, in much the same way as Brassica oleracea. Is it Brassica oleracea? Anyway, the parent plant, if you like, that gives us things like broccoli, rapeseed, and Brussels sprouts, cabbage. It's basically all the same plant, but selectively bred to produce different things. So Nicotiana rustica is one of those. It's like the parent plant, if you like, one of the older types of tobacco. And as I say, I was reading a scientific article from 1931, which records it having been used in Papua New Guinea, where I was, significantly during certain rituals and things. So it's obviously been in Papua for quite a long time, or in New Guinea for quite a long time. And to bring it back to my point, I'm fairly certain, given the taste of this stuff, that it's also the variety that I was smoking while I was over there, the locally grown stuff that they call Bruce. So that's kind of interesting. Well, I thought I'd give you a couple of, tasting notes, I suppose, a couple of notes on the Mac Baren HH Rustica. Now, there's a lot of hype on the Tinterweb about this, predominantly from North American smokers who talk about the nicotine just being like blow your head off strong. I have a fairly high tolerance to nicotine, but you can always tell whether something is strong for me because it gives me the hiccups. This hasn't yet. Although, saying that, I'll probably start hiccuping during this video now. So I was a little bit skeptical going into it. I kind of imagined it would be very strong, very harsh. A lot of people describe it as being a lot like some of the Irish twists, the brown twists that are done by Gareth Hogarth, Sam Gareth, those kinds of people. Those very strong, steam pressed, high in nicotine, quite robust would be, I suppose, the terminology to use, but I would probably say pretty harsh. I mean, I've had a few of those rope tobaccos that are made over here, and they're not an all day smoke for me. I mean, I can imagine historically, if you couldn't afford to be smoking all day, as we do these days, but you wanted a really good hit of something at the end of the day, that's something you'd smoke. Um, so I kind of imagined it was going to be a lot like that. But actually, it's a completely different animal. I'm really quite pleasantly surprised. Really, very pleasantly surprised by it. Um, so the first thing you notice about it is it's smooth. It's actually really smooth. Now I'm 3/4 of the way through the bowl of this. I'm only using a small pipe. I'm using a little a little Peterson Rocky Donegal billiard. But it's got a really nice, smooth texture to it. It's creamy, in fact, and it's got a shed load more flavour than I imagined it would have. Now, if you like cigars, you will like this. Because I suppose if you call it dominant, the dominant flavour I'm getting is like cigar leaf. Is like a good quality cigar. I don't mean some of these nasty, cheap, crappy things that you get from, well, over in this country, for example, the Royal Dutch, cheap cigars, cheap cigarillos, that sort of thing that you get. I don't mean that kind of cigar. I mean actually a good quality cigar. And the smoke is thick. The room note, again, I mean, obviously speaking as somebody who's smoking it, I'm not entirely objective, but I did walk in to my room, into the room I'm in now, a couple of days ago when I first tried this, and I got this cigar whiff, like I'd been smoking cigars in here. Now, if you are sensitive to nicotine, then it's certainly not something that you should take lightly. But also, I'd say at the same time, yeah, I think you guys in the States there, you got to up your game. I see so many of you folks do reviews of tobacco, and you talk about it being, oh my God, it's so strong, oh, I'll knock you out strong. I mean, for goodness sake, get a grip. You guys dip, for goodness sake. That's hardcore. You should be able to tolerate a bit of smoke. And this is a lot less buzzy, shall we say, than some of the dips that I've had. So yeah, don't believe the hype too much about it. Really, I think as long as you're not caning it, as we say, and just chonging away there really fast and hard, then you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just sip it, enjoy it the same way as you would with a cigar. Perhaps, yeah, don't load it into a massive bowl because you're not going to enjoy it very much. I suppose I'd say, yeah, keep a small bowl for it. This is not the smallest pipe I've got by far, but it's sort of, I'm not sure. The chamber's not huge, but it's not tiny either. I guess, if I sip this pipe, it lasts me 45 minutes to an hour. And it burns into this beautiful fine ash, really, really nice fine ash. And it's always a pleasure to get a good fine ash. Give it a bit of drying time. Like with all of Mac Baren's HH flakes, I think they benefit a little bit from just having a bit of air time before you rub it out and pack it. And I'd also say, again, on that note, I don't do fold-in stuff or any of that nonsense. If I have a flake or a plug and I cut a flake from a plug, I rub it out. It's just makes sense, doesn't it? So I don't know how this is going to smoke with the fold-in stuff, but just rubbed out, it's wonderful. So yeah. So I'd say if you can get hold of some of this stuff, do give it a chance. Don't get put off by some of the nonsense that's on YouTube. Treat it with a bit of respect. It is actually really one of the nicest tobacco creations I've had recently, in fairness. And I would definitely like to get some more of it. I mean, I've got, he sent me a really generous sample. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got enough in there for another 4 bowls, maybe, something like that. 3, 4 bowls. Yeah, I'm going to be looking to get some more of this. It's not an all-day, everyday smoke. By no means, not for me, but I know when I was chatting with Wolfgang, Vogie73, recently, he said he can smoke it all day long, but he's a nutball, so I mean, he has a Revor plug for breakfast, for goodness sake. But actually, as a tobacco to sit down and contemplate with in a small bowl, this is really quite sublime. It's very, very special. So, yeah. That's it, really. It's just my... I told you it was going to take 20 minutes. It's almost 18 minutes now. So, yeah, that's my quick review of HH Rustica by Mac Baren. Go and get yourself some. But don't be a dick and don't nick it all. Don't buy it all, for goodness sake. Leave some for other people. Well, that's it. Thanks to my good friend, who I won't name, as I say, but he knows who he is, very much for gifting that. Trading it, whatever you want to say. I mean, never ever let it be said that the Scots are not generous, because that's a fallacy. It was a very generous package that I got from him in exchange for, I felt really quite bad. Actually, I mean, I sent him not nearly as much as I feel I should have done now. But, anyway, you folks take care. I'll catch you all again soon. Ta-ta.